Hi everyone, it's Judy here at River City Sewing, bringing you an After Dark here at River City Sewing. Now this is a little bit unusual for me because normally I don't have a sewing room set up here in the upper level of the building, but at the moment I need to get my sojo back, so I've brought things in from home and I've got some sample sewing so that I can just get back into the rhythm of sewing again. It seems ridiculous, but we all seem to lose our motivation sometimes, and for me it's a case of, once I have to start a project, usually a large one, so I need to have extra time. So having my setup here at the store, I can whiz out of my office for a couple of hours and start again, which has been really, really nice. So my project at the moment is to have a little program that shows you what you can do with a fat quarter bundle and how much you can get out of that. Now, for those of you who aren't into quilting or not quite sure about what you can do with these things, this little series that I've got is designed so that you can see how much fabric's in it, what the kind of things you can do with it, how to grab some inspiration for some projects using it, and sort of explaining a little bit about what these fabric collection and pre-cuts are. Now, the first one I'm doing now is fat quarters. And fat quarters can come in various sizes of bundles. So it depends on the size of a collection of fabric. Now, normally most collections of fabric could be anywhere from 8 to 35 bolts or even 150 bolts. It just depends on the designer, on the fabric line. And basically these collections were designed as a colorway with different variations of prints and tonal fabrics and tonal colors, so they all coordinate. So you might have what we call like a hero piece, or the main fabric, which may be an ombre or a collection or a panel or some other kind of wow fabric, and then they've designed a whole heap of coordinating fabric to go with it, so that you can mix and match the colors, everything will match. Okay. Now, in some situations you'll have fat quarter bundles with plain fabrics, but they're all coloured, coordinated together, which makes it easier for things like Christmas, or pastel colours, or all bright colours, or just different collections that may all work together, which is great. If you're not confident with colours, pre-cuts can do that. So fat quarters give you a little bit more fabric, which is almost, if you think about it, as half a metre of fabric cut in half. So that's what they mean, like normally a yard of fabric cut into 4, and that's called a fat quarter, because you have 4 squares all the same size. So generally that piece is quite large, so that you can get lots of different pieces out of it. You can get bigger block sizes out of it that you're cutting. You can get some strips out of it as well, and all those different things. So hopefully, as you watch this particular collection of things that I'm sewing, you will see some of the things that you can make out of a fat quarter. And with some of these I might have added some extra fabric, like a white or something like just a plain colour, just to add a little bit more break, because one of the fat quarter packs the fat quarter pack that I'm using in this case is like a basics range with tiny prints on it, small prints, different patterns. So it needs a solid colour just to break it up. So in this case I've been using some white as the break colour, and I've used some jelly roll so I don't have to cut the 2.5 inch strips for a lot of it. So you'll get an idea of how versatile some of these pre-cuts are. But the fun thing about buying pre-cuts is from time to time we just get some fat quarters in, and that's all we get out of that collection. It's just to have a little bit of variety in the store. Sometimes we'll buy different bolts of fabric, a whole collection of fabric, or many bolts of fabric within a collection, and we'll cut our own fat quarter bundles out of it. So sometimes you might have the bonus opportunity of being able to buy a fat quarter bundle and a little bit extra out of the same fabric that we might have. Now, one thing to remember about fat quarters, especially patterns and new collections, is once a collection is released, generally it's a one print wonder. Okay, so they basically print that collection, that's it, it may never get printed again. The exception to some of those rules are basic collections like Kimberbell collection. We have some basic grunge, we have some spotted, a few of those different fabrics. Jenny Buyer palette was a repeatable collection, and the solids are all repeatable. So they're your basic sort of fabrics that are repeatables, which means that the fabric company will reprint the same fabric again and again and again. So the good way to use your fat quarters is maybe to blend the patterns that are on these particular fat quarters with some plain or with some grunge or with another blender that you can extend the amount of things that you can do with this particular fabric. Sometimes if you have lots of pattern fabric, it's way too busy altogether. So, it's totally up to you what you make with them, but hopefully you'll get some inspiration on some of the projects that I've chosen with this particular fat quarter bundle. Now, as I'm doing it, I'll be doing some pictures and popping them in and showing you all the different projects, how I chose them, why I chose them, and hopefully you'll enjoy this series. So, well, I better get back and finish this one. I'm halfway through my third project in this series, so keep watching. I'll look forward to bringing you a little bit of a sneak peek of the end result, but watch for this series. It's going to be a lot of fun that it hopefully will give you a little bit of inspiration about what to do with your fat quarter bundles. And if you aren't into quilting, maybe it'll inspire you to try some small fat quarter bundles to just experiment with different projects that are out there. So from Judi, thanks for watching. I better get back to my sewing, and I'll see you soon with fun from the Fat Quarter Challenge.